super excited about heading to college. It's definitely a very bittersweet kind of emotion.
Bittersweet, because Grace Fisher just graduated Newtown High School without 20 of her classmates. They were fatally shot during the Sandy Hook massacre nearly 12 years ago. Emma Aarons was also there that day and lost her best friend.
Thinking about all the what ifs of what if they were sitting next to me at graduation? What if we were still friends? Where would we be?
Emma and Grace were both 6 years old in 2012 and seated in their first grade classrooms when the gunmen stormed into their school.
We thought it was construction because it's been going on for the past couple days on the roof. And then a guy armed came into my classroom and started shooting all of my friends and my teachers and my classmates. His gun had been jammed, and a friend of mine, Jesse Lewis, had yelled at us to run, and that's what we did.
We kind of sectioned ourselves into the cubby area, which is kind of like an indent, so from the door, we're absolutely hidden. I remember feeling like I was in danger.
Emma recalls bumping into the gunman on her rush to get out. Jesse Lewis, the boy who yelled to her and others to run, was fatally shot on the spot.
You believe he saved your life?
I do, I really do. In the hallway right by the main entrance, there was chairs in front of the office, and under the chairs were people. Because of the force of impact of the bullets, they were blown under the chairs.
When we got to the firehouse, we had to line up like by grade, and that's when my teacher was really like, this is really not okay, because when we lined up by grade, like half of our grade was missing and everyone else was there.
In the years that followed, both girls have struggled to cope with the memories from that day. Both girls are part of the Junior Newtown Action Alliance, which promotes gun safety, in efforts to turn some of that anxiety into action.
I do not want future kids of America to have to be scared in a classroom.
We really are pushing, obviously, for a federal assault weapons ban, but also we do shift our focus to like safe storage laws and also mental health resources.
On graduation day, the names of those lost were read, in ribbons marking the day of the massacre worn in their honor. This has been Jaida Thompson with GSUTV. It wasn't the walk this high school senior had planned for, but as 18-year-old Joseph Bomarito Ottman heard his name, it was a victory in education and in health.
I wasn't even expecting it. They just woke me up. They said, like, put your cap and gown on.
Joseph was born with a heart condition that he has been battling his entire life, which is why he is here at the Loma Linda University Children's Hospital.
I know it's called congestive heart failure.
The congestive heart failure, only half of a heart caused a lot of difficulties for Joseph. So learning difficulties, writing difficulties.
His life has been far from easy. He had 4 heart surgeries before the age of 4 and ended up in foster care by the age of 6, eventually finding a loving family with parents who are very proud. But the reason Joseph missed his graduation at Vista Murrieta High School wasn't due to him being sick. It's because he was given the gift of life, a new heart.
First got on the list, they have a transplant list. They said it could take up to years, like decades for people to get new hearts. And it took me like a couple months. And here I am with a new heart.
He didn't just graduate. He got a heart transplant 5 days ago. We found a wonderful heart for him just recently from a very generous donor.
His family, hospital, heroes, and friends gathered in this room to honor his milestone as his teacher handed him his diploma.
I could not have done this by myself. I don't think anybody could have done this. So this is all like a culmination of many people's efforts.
This marks a new beginning for Joseph and hopefully a healthy future. This has been Jaida Thompson with GSUTV. You're seeing 1 month out from kidney transplant surgery.
I'm doing so well.
Living with stage 5 kidney disease, Bernadia Johnson had 5 donors fall through before her 6th turned out to be the charm.
I also had to show some level of strength, but I have to tell you, nobody should have to show this much strength. It was very hard.
There's multiple factors that go into someone's placement on the transplant waiting list, including, of course, if there's a match out there. But one of the factors is how long the wait's been.
I was on the list for 2 years, but after they did the recalculation, I was on the list for 5 years and 8 months.
That big adjustment came from the medical world removing race as a component in a test that estimates kidney function. Hennepin Healthcare Chief of Nephrology says the test had been systematically causing Black people's results to come back as higher, which may have an effect on their transplant eligibility.
Transplant centers to go back and reevaluate and then go through the charts of all Black patients to see whether they could document that they would have, under the newer equation, had a lower estimated kidney function sooner, and then to adjust their time back.
Dr. Johansson says there's still plenty of work to be done to address racial disparities in the health field.
Among people with kidney failure requiring either dialysis or transplant, it's almost 4 times higher for Black people than for white people. It's also higher among Hispanics.
In Johnson's case, the culprits were diabetes and hypertension, 2 risk factors that occur at higher rates for African Americans. This has been Jaida Thompson with GSUTV.
How many mothers get to say that their kid made a difference in the world?
For Pete Frady's mother, this milestone feels bittersweet, coming a decade after her brave boy set out to change the fight against ALS. The viral worldwide Ice Bucket Challenge phenomenon raised many millions and led to more research and better care.
When Pete was diagnosed, we didn't even know where the tunnel was to a cure. Today, we're not only in the tunnel, we can see the cure. We just need people to stick with us.
Pete inspired the likes of Boston Bruins legend Ray Baroque, who continues to fundraise in his honor.
When he was diagnosed, he asked the doctor, what is it going to take? She said, money. He said, how much? She said, $1 billion. And he looked at her and says, I'm on it.
While the Frady's family encourages a new wave of the Ice Bucket Challenge, the Baroque Family Foundation will again dedicate their September Captain's Ball to Pete's mission.
He'd be the first one here to celebrate. Being his mom and having lost him, celebrating is a little bit hard, but we celebrate him for what he did, and we celebrate what is going to happen as we continue this fight.
And the fight is not over yet for those involved in the ALS community. This has been Jaida Thompson with GSU TV.
Good boy. So nice. That was nice.
There's a new staff member at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston, Massachusetts, bringing joy to the pediatric patients there.
Knowing that she's here specifically for them has been so awesome, and we've had a few comments from parents especially that are like, oh, we don't have to get a dog now because we have one here.
Meet Opry, the 1.5-year-old golden retriever who was donated to the Institute with the help of the Duncan Joy and Childhood Foundation. She is the first in-residency facility dog for Dana-Farber. Opry will be working with the staff to create a calming, therapeutic environment for kids battling cancer.
A lot of our patients are on treatment for a while, and so after a little bit of time, it can be challenging to get them away from some of the activities that we have in clinic, the more fun activities, and get them to go do parts of their treatment.
Dana-Farber staff says that Opry will be on duty to help patients feel more comfortable in the hospital, help motivate them to achieve health care goals, and to reduce anxiety during stressful procedures.
Seeing Opry bring joy and smile to the faces of patients and families is really critical.
Opry has been through special training to be able to complete specific tasks in order to better help patients every day. It took 2 years of preparation to make sure the hospital was ready to train Opry on her responsibilities. Now that she's arrived, the staff says they are thrilled to work alongside their newest addition. This has been Jaida Thompson with GSU TV.
On Friday, May 31st, the city of Atlanta was plunged into a crisis after multiple of the city's water mains burst. Large sections of the downtown area and surrounding neighborhoods went without water over the weekend, and a boil order was issued through Wednesday for most of the city. Mayor Andre Dickens declared a state of emergency for Atlanta that Saturday as crews worked to repair the mains. The trouble began afternoon on Friday when a 36-inch water main broke, with another 48-inch main rupturing shortly afterwards. One main was repaired by Saturday evening, but work wasn't fully completed on other areas until Wednesday. The main breaks led to many hospitals and schools in the affected area closing or reducing their capacity in the days that followed the incident, and even led to the cancellation of a few high-profile events, including a Megan Thee Stallion concert that was scheduled to take place at the State Farm Arena on Friday. Many other businesses and restaurants also had to temporarily close. Investigations found that both of the water mains that broke were nearing, if not over 100 years old, with the older of the two being installed in 1910. The city is currently seeking help from the Army Corps of Engineers to assess what can be done to update their water infrastructure, and a $5 million aid plan is being discussed to reimburse those affected by the outages. For GSUTV, this is Graham Taylor. Last month brought with it record-breaking temperatures before the official start of the summer season, which began on June 20th. Multiple heat domes formed over North America, causing the heat waves felt by the continental states below over the course of the month. The first heat dome appeared over the southwestern states at the end of May, causing record-reaching temperatures relatively early in the year. Heat domes are an area of high pressure in the atmosphere that push down warm air, leading to the hot conditions experienced on the surface. A second dome began to form over the Midwest by the middle of June, thus leading to the above 100-degree Fahrenheit weather experienced by the region. So far in 2024, there have been multiple injuries and fatalities attributed to the heat waves, and conditions will worsen as we progress deeper into the summer. Time spent outside during the afternoon should be limited when possible, and frequent breaks should be taken when spending time in the sun is unavoidable. These heat waves aren't just affecting the United States. Billions around the world are experiencing these dangerous temperatures as average conditions heat up globally due to climate change. At this rate, 2024 is set to be the hottest summer on record, again. For GSU-TV, this is Graham Taylor. The Supreme Court announced on June 13th that they would not restrict access to the abortion medication mifepristone. The decision was made unanimously by all 9 judges, which comes as a surprise seeing as just 2 years ago, 5 of the same justices overturned Roe v. Wade, allowing states to ban abortions. Mifepristone is a pill taken by mouth and is used in over half of all abortions in the United States. The drug allows patients to undergo an abortion without the need for invasive procedures or surgery. The drug is also one of the safest on the market. In its over 20 years of use, mifepristone has been used by almost 6 million people, and only 32 deaths have been possibly linked to the medication in that time. In those 32 reported deaths, other complications and medications were also present, meaning that deaths can't solely be attributed to mifepristone. Despite access to mifepristone being preserved, abortion is still outright banned in 14 states and restricted in others, so the decision is not an outright win for proponents of reproductive health. This decision also comes at a time when the Supreme Court is overturning rulings like Chevron versus Natural Resources Defense Council, an overruling which will limit the power federal agencies have to approve and enforce regulation in regards to public safety and health. For GSU-TV, this is Graham Taylor. The Israeli Defense Force killed over 250 Palestinians and injured almost 700 more at the Nuzirat refugee camp in Gaza during a raid on June 8th. The raid, which was reportedly enacted to rescue Israeli hostages, only managed to free 4 individuals despite the disproportionate bloodshed. Israeli gunboats and drones bombarded the area with heavy artillery, leaving blocks leveled and hundreds killed. Homes near Rafah and areas to the north of Gaza City were also hit with ballistic strikes at this time. Of the at least 274 people killed, many of whom were children, the Israeli military reported only 17 were quote-unquote terrorists. Following the massacre, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the raid a success and failed to address any of the Palestinian casualties. President Joe Biden also expressed approval at the rescue of the 4 captives, but also failed to mention the Palestinian death toll, as well as not mentioning that the U.S. had provided some intel and logistical support for this operation. Despite again pushing for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, Biden has done little else to prevent the violence in Gaza from escalating. As the death toll since October 7th continues to rise, Israel has shown time and time again that they are unwilling to work towards a ceasefire, even if it means saving the lives of the remaining hostages. For GSU-TV, this is Graham Taylor. On June 2nd, Mexico held its national presidential election, resulting in Claudia Sheinbaum winning the majority vote. Sheinbaum, who represents Mexico's left-wing party Morena, won with 59% of the votes, and will be Mexico's first woman president when she is sworn in later this fall. An energy engineer and former mayor of Mexico City, Sheinbaum was projected to win the election the night of, with the official announcement of her victory made on June 8th. Her nearest opponent, Xochitl Gálvez, representing the conservative wing of the population, had less than 30% of the vote and conceded to Sheinbaum that night. Sheinbaum is succeeding Andrés Manuel López Obrador, the current president and fellow Morena member. Obrador won the presidency in 2018 after failing to be elected in 2 prior elections and has become one of Mexico's most popular leaders, as well as a political ally to Sheinbaum. The president-elect ran on a campaign of progressive promises, including expanding welfare and public infrastructure across the country, advocating feminist and LGBTQA rights, and focusing on growing the country's green and renewable energy sources, though critics note that she is still supportive of Pemex, Mexico's state-owned oil company. Sheinbaum will be inaugurated on October 1st later this year, and her term will last 6 years. For GSUTV, this is Graham Taylor.
Everybody. Oh my gosh, I am just such a huge fan of yours, and now here I am meeting you face to face.
Welcome to Hollywood Buzz, your source for the latest in the entertainment industry. I'm your host, Jason Gonzalez. Today we have stories from iconic music artists all the way to new announcements of films. Let's get started. Our first story comes from rapper Sean Diddy Combs, who has parted ways with the media company he founded, Revolt, an American music-oriented digital cable television network and media company targeting African Americans. Combs sold his majority stake in the company, which is now primarily owned by employees, amid a number of lawsuits alleging sexual assault. American singer and songwriter Dolly Parton announced that her biographical musical will arrive on Broadway in 2026. The musical will be called Hello, I'm Dolly, and it will depict a majority of her life and those who have been around her since the beginning. Media mogul Oprah Winfrey is back home after being sent to the emergency room with a stomach virus. According to Winfrey's representatives, she is feeling much better after she received an IV due to dehydration at the recommendation of her doctor. Now it's time to move on to the film industry, where author Suzanne Collins confirmed that another Hunger Games novel will be released on March 18, 2025, which will tell the story of the 50th Hunger Games, also known as the Second Quarter Quell. Shortly following the announcement of the book, Lionsgate then confirmed that they will be making a movie based on the new book. Hunger Games: Sunrise of the Reaping is set to arrive in cinemas on November 20th, 2026.
What was your name again? Oh, I'm sorry, I can get ahead of myself. I'm Anxiety. I'm one of Riley's new emotions, and we are just super jazzed to be here.
Walt Disney's Inside Out 2 is here. Just when joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust was running a successful operation in the mind of teenager Riley, a new emotion appears: anxiety. In this animated sequel, the emotions will look to work together as a collective. Inside Out 2 is now in theaters.
Hey, Pharrell. Hey, how you doing, man? You know, it'd be cool is if we told my story with Lego pieces.
Seriously?
Yes, Lego. Just be open.
American musician Pharrell Williams stars in Piece by Piece, a Lego animated biographical musical. The comedy drama will look to illustrate Pharrell's love for music and creativity, along with his journey in the music industry. The Universal Pictures film is set to be released on October 11th, 2024.
There has to be a reason they're after us.
Eddie, my own, has found us.
The first trailer for Venom: The Last Dance has been released. In its final installment of the franchise, Eddie and Venom are on the run. Hunted by both of their worlds, with the net closing in, the duo is forced into a devastating decision. The film is expected to be released on October 2024. This is Jason Gonzalez reporting for GSU TV.
Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I am just such a huge fan of yours, and now here I am meeting you face to face. Okay, how can I help?
Growing up for Riley means developing new emotions in Inside Out 2. Meet Anxiety, voiced by Stranger Things and Once Upon a Time Hollywood actress Maya Hawke, who shares her process through auditioning for the film.
It's the only audition I've ever had that I cried not on purpose. They explained to me the story of the film, and it was so moving to me. It just was like an arrow to my heart. And I think that that's what Pixar does so well.
And my job is to protect her from the scary stuff she can't see. I plan for the future.
This colorful coming-of-age tale is the 10th highest-grossing animated movie of all time domestically. The film has also passed $800 million globally and is nearing the $1 billion mark.
Riley's life is more complex now. It requires more sophisticated emotions than all of you.
Inside Out 2 had the best box office debut since Barbie last July. The numbers continue to rise both globally and domestically for the film.
How dare you, madam?
You can't just bottle us up. Oh, that's a great idea.
This has been Jaida Thompson with GSUTV.
American singer and rapper Keyshawn Paul Anderson, professionally known as Sean Kingston, has been arrested in Florida and faces criminal charges. Allegedly, Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner, committed more than $1 million in fraud in an elaborate scheme. Kingston's home in South Florida was subject to a police and SWAT raid last Thursday, which resulted in the arrest of his mother for numerous fraud and theft charges. Later that day, the singer was arrested without incident in Fort Irwin, California. The Broward Sheriff Office arrest warrant alleges Kingston and Turner stole $480,000 in jewelry, more than $200,000 from Bank of America, nearly $1,600,000 from an Escalade dealership, and more than $100,000 from the First Republic Bank. In addition, the two are alleged to have stolen $86,000 from a customized bed manufacturer. The circuit court judge has set Kingston's bond at $100,000. This is Jason Gonzalez reporting for GSU TV. In the early hours of Tuesday, American singer Justin Timberlake was pulled over after failing to stop at a stop sign and maintain his lane of travel in Sag Harbor, Long Island. Timberlake claims he had just one martini before he was pulled over, where he failed a field sobriety test and was arrested on suspicion of intoxicated driving. The on-site police officer claims in his report that Timberlake's eyes were bloodshot and glassy and had a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emanating from his breath. The singer was arraigned and released without having to post bail about 9 hours after his arrest. He as well pleaded not guilty and was ordered to appear virtually in court on July 26th. The singer's attorney, Edward Burke Jr., says he looks forward to vigorously defend Timberlake on these allegations. Timberlake plans to continue his world tour without any setbacks following the incident. This is Jason Gonzalez reporting for GSU TV.
Pulisic takes it short to Weah. Pulisic has it back now through the traffic. Pulisic, what a goal! What a start for the United States!
Welcome to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Jason Gonzalez. Today we'll be covering the latest and the greatest stories from the world of sports. Let's get started.
On the ground, and a base hit. 1 run scores. Here's the throw home. Not in time.
Our first story comes from baseball, where the Chicago Cubs continue to struggle. In Game 2 of a 4-game series, the San Francisco Giants came out victorious 5-1. After this loss, the Cubs stand with a 37-43 record, 5th in the National Central Division.
This one is belted out to right field. Pham at the wall, and it is gone.
From the south side of Chicago, the White Sox would once again fall against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Reigning MVP Shohei Ohtani would lead the Dodgers to a 4-3 victory with a leadoff home run and a tie-breaking RBI single. The Sox currently stand with a 21-60 record, 5th in the American Central Division.
Pulisic with options either side. Here's Balogun now. Balogun on the deck, and it's in! Balogun scores, and the U.S. doubles their lead.
After months of anticipation, Team USA kicked off the Copa America versus Bolivia. A sensational 3rd-minute goal and a 44th-minute assist from captain Christian Pulisic helped fuel the men's national team to a 2-0 shutout victory.
Frey in the crease and played away from Hart. Here's Reinhart on the counter. Sam Reinhart scores!
At last, the Florida Panthers captured their first Stanley Cup in franchise history, with a 2-1 Game 7 victory over the Edmonton Oilers. Winger Sam Reinhart's second-period goal proved to be the winner, as goalie Sergei Bobrovsky made 23 saves to close the series. Now it's time to move on to basketball, where the Minnesota Lynx were crowned Commissioner's Cup champions. The Lynx became the 4th different team to win the in-season cup in the event's 4-year history. Forward Bridget Carlston's 23 points led Minnesota to a 94-89 victory over the New York Liberty.
Ford take time off the clock. Brown drives, finds Porzingis. Timeout, Dallas.
In Game 5 of the NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks went head-to-head for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Through 4 quarters, it would be all Celtics, with Jason Tatum scoring 31 points and having 11 assists along with 8 rebounds. The Celtics topped the Mavericks 106-88 to win the franchise's 18th championship, breaking a tie with the Los Angeles Lakers for the most in league history. The NBA offseason has kicked off with the NBA Draft, where the Chicago Bulls with the 11th pick selected Chicago's own Matas Buzelis, a 6'10 forward from the NBA G League Ignite.
With the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James from the University of Southern California.
In the second round with the 55th pick, the Los Angeles Lakers selected Bronny James, the eldest son of superstar LeBron James. James is now poised to play alongside his father, where they can become the first father-son duo to play in the league at the same time. This is Jason Gonzalez reporting for GSUTV.
Please welcome the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League, Mr. Tom Brady.
After being away from football for nearly a year and a half, quarterback Tom Brady was inducted into the New England Patriots Hall of Fame. The induction event from Gillette Stadium brought dozens of Brady's former teammates, rivals, coaches, and fans. The 2-hour event created memories, fun reunions, a few tears, and 2 announcements. Patriots owner Robert Kraft officially retired Brady's jersey number 12, making him the 8th Patriots player to receive that honor and the first in 24 years. Kraft also announced that a 12-foot-tall bronze sculpture of Brady will be unveiled outside of the Hall of Fame later this year. Brady rounded out the night with an impassioned speech, during which he expressed his gratitude for everyone who supported him throughout his career.
You humble me. You make me proud. And I am eternally grateful. I am Tom Brady, and I am a Patriot.
This is Jason Gonzalez reporting for GSU-TV. Hundreds of black athletes who were shut out of Major League Baseball a century ago are now officially part of it. The MLB announced on Wednesday that it has incorporated the statistics of more than 2,300 Negro League players from 1920 to 1948 into its records, which are now available in a newly integrated online database. The president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Bob Kendrick, views this change as a groundbreaking move that will bring its rich history to the forefront.
And as Commissioner Manfred said, I hope that these statistics will be a gateway into wanting to learn more about the Negro Leagues. Because let me preface by saying this: you cannot reduce the story of the Negro Leagues to statistics.
The process of incorporating the statistics took nearly 4 years of research. As they enter the MLB records, some of their names have risen to the top of the leaderboards. Gray's catcher Josh Gibson is now the MLB's all-time career leader in batting average, slugging percentage, and on-base plus slugging percentage. In June, the MLB also plans to honor the Negro Leagues by playing its first ever game at a longtime Negro Leagues field. This is Jason Gonzalez reporting for GSU-TV.